well, and Godos on hands and knees trying to get the ball out. Here's McDonald, who's had such a good start in 2024. That one's been wrapped up, and free kick here in the middle of the ground is going the way of Geelong. They come out towards the middle of the ground, and Plummer takes the mark. A bit long towards fourth, but it's being caught by Ethan Skinner. Good afternoon to you.
Excited to be calling this one. You just said before we went on air, Josh, that you have never called Darebin before, so it's a new experience for you, but you're fresh off calling Geelong's first win last week.
That's right, and a very good win it was. They came from behind, took 5 goals in that final quarter of footy, so it's good to watch, and it's a good game as well. And here's Darebin coming forward. They actually kicked the first goal of their game last week as Walton soccers that one off the ground to the direction of Gooden, and now that ball towards the inside of the ground. Strong tackle there from Pratt, who had 18 disposals last week in their win, and she forces a stoppage.
Yeah, your favourite player is Abby McDonald, who's coming into screen now. She wears the number 39 for Geelong, and she's about to nearly won the footy there, but she's a player alongside probably Brooke Plummer in this team, who wears the number 19, who are just on the fringes of that Geelong AFLW side, and in other teams they probably would be in the first 21 for their teams, but obviously in a strong squad they're challenged a little bit to find their way. But just their ability both inside and outside the contest is really impressive. They're able to win the hard footy, but they're also very good at sitting out on a wing and using the space really effectively. So they're probably the two players to watch today for Geelong.
Absolutely. And as they come forward once again, Plummer looks up inside the forward 50, but the mark has been intercepted. And Darebin trying to exit their defensive half. Chris Gurgle in the back half. Putting in helmet. Drives this one long. In direction. She gained the crumb. Taking the boundary line. Managed to stay inside a bit of play. Power was there, and now it goes over. So, speaking about Abby McDonald before, had 35 disposals in round 1. And they played Carlton and lost in that game, but she was probably their best that day, and then had round 2 off, this round 2, and last week had another 25 disposals and set up a lot of their opportunities in that final quarter as well.
Yeah, she probably has come a very long way since being drafted by the Cats a couple of years ago as well. So she's been part of that development that you get once you're into that program too. And she's very much come away. She made her debut last year coming out of the back half because that was where they needed her. But her best position really is in that midfield, maybe rotating into another spot on the ground. So finding that ability to break in, it is a really difficult midfield to come into because Amy McDonald is there, Georgie Prasparkas, who's her best mate as well, and Darcy Maloney is coming through that midfield too. As Darebin walks to the goal line to take a set shot after a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, 50-metre penalty, so an opportunity here for Simone Rudin to bump this one through directly in front. And Darebin, like last week, kicked the first goal of the game off the boot of Simone Rudin, and that's a really positive start for this game.
It hasn't been an easy run for Darebin the last couple of years in particular. Obviously, we know them as the women's footy powerhouse in Victoria. When the AFLW began in, drafts and things happened in 2016, a lot of players were pulled out of Darebin, especially Melbourne built their list around a lot of Darebin players too. Daisy Pearce is obviously the most famous to come out of it. They won 10 flags in the space of something like 11 years in the VWFL into the VFLW as well, but since the AFLW has come in and alignments have started to be created with those senior lists, as we see happen in the men's, it's been a little bit harder for Darebin to find those top-level players because they're going into the AFLW and then they're playing for their club's respective reserve side. So finding those players has been tricky. They have loaded up on a bunch of former Collingwood players this year. You mentioned Chris Gurgle before. Monique Di Matteo is an absolute danger inside 50 as well. So there's a few still around. Caitlin Bunker, their co-captain this year, out there as well. So they've stocked up on a few players here now, and we've seen definitely an improvement in their performance over the first month of the season. They just haven't been able to nab that win yet.
And didn't attack their first goal last week as well as they come forward again here, Darebin. So they're pressing at the moment with a few early inside 50s. McDonald the target was Geelong trying to get their defence, and Geelong just slipped high, and so McDonald with the free kick.
Oh, smart.
Walton takes the mark at centre half back. He was solid in defence last week as well. Roy Walton from North Ballarat, of course, originally. Darebin, though, he comes forward again. Mackie inside 50 towards Kota Kuta. And she puts it on the boot towards the pocket. And over and out it goes. But positive start here from Darebin.
Yeah.
I like what I've seen so far, but clear intent to come forward and to control a lot of the ball movement so far.
You're absolutely right, and I think the big thing against a team like Darebin, who do tend to play stoppage-heavy games, is use the space. So Abby McDonald was trying to create a switch there to Walton coming across the ground, but the option to come back...
So Darebin falling out into the pocket. Walton trying to chase this one down, but we get a secondary stoppage. Set up behind the play though.
The option to come back to the heavy side of the ground rather than continue to use the space where there are options. That's probably just the error in the game plan, following the game plan there. But I think where we'll see Geelong get on top will be when they can use that space on that outer wing effectively.
Raymond applies a strong tackle. He's got that tackle. She's lurking around this stoppage. Darebin maximise these early opportunities. Fuller gets it towards Mar, and then Mar towards this near side of the ground. Larkins on the boot to the group, back towards Larkins again. And Geelong, this is the first time they've been able to really come forward. Larkins, the follow-up work was brilliant as that one goes over the line and out of play, but well done from Larkins, who just kept running. And Geelong now with an opportunity to come forward, probably the closest they've been able to get the goal so far.
Yeah, and that, as we just said, that ability to find the outside run and actually utilise it, knowing that Darebin wants to make it stoppage heavy, it means you can transition the ball quite quickly into your attack if you make the most of the space they let you have. So Geelong just need to keep making the most of that, and they will be all over them. So now it's about winning this territory and maintaining it. Don't let Darebin get it back in their forward half.
So just inside the square, it's knocked out towards the Jordan direction. Doesn't have some numbers though. This round there was shown, and the receiver for a kick for high contact. She gives off the hands, and Darebin. Now to Goff. So Goff at half forward. Assessing her options. Further inside 50. Sends this one long. A probing kick. Walton was there for Geelong. It's been flipped out towards Marv. Gogos underneath that one. And a big tackle wave. And the umpire's going to come in and toss this one up. Again, Darebin is being able to come forward. It's about trying to convert these opportunities into goals. Stop. And quick kick going the way here of Darebin. So a holding free kick. And so, opportunity here. 40 metres out.
She'll need to find a lead-up option here.
Here's Marquette. So, can they build here, Darebin? Set that kick up towards the top of the square. It was a well-weighted ball for Misfit. It just had it knocked out of her grasp. And again, Darebin will have a stoppage inside their forward half. This is Depp coming down and taking the ruck duties. Gogus is averaging 21.7 disposals this year so far with a touch there, but Geelong on the outer side now are streaming forward. They've got some numbers further up the ground. The group, little 1-2, and now they come forward Geelong. The back there was Larkins, umpire lurking, and that things up. I thought Stora might have put some high contact there. Head over the footy, attacked it hard. Gotis has been involved in a lot of the play so far, wrapped up.
Yeah, for a couple of years now, Ange Gogos has been the premier ball winner of the Darebin Falcons. Of course, she's a premiership AFLW player with the Western Bulldogs back in 2018. She retired, I think, in 2020, I want to say. I should know that off the top of my head. But has gone back into the VFLW and just been a really important servant for the Darebin Falcons as a leader on the field, but also just puts her body on the line every single week.
And Pearson picks a scorer as well. The scorer goes short to Koda, who takes the mark in the half-back flank. Looking inside the middle of the ground, rolling ball towards the lane direction on debut today for Geelong as well. McNeil now cutting a sway through the centre. And now Geelong inside 50, up towards the pocket. In there is the Roots, applies a strong tackle. And the umpire will call for it. Unfortunately, Geelong have 3 debutants today, so Bridie O'Rourke, as well as Millie Lang, who we just saw there, and also Lincoln Morrissey as well. So really looking forward to seeing how those 3 perform this afternoon in their first game for Geelong in the VFLW, another stoppage.
Yeah, the latter two that you've just mentioned, so Millie Lang and Mika Morrissey, they're promotions from the Coates League. They've obviously both played with the Geelong Falcons, and they've been promoted to the VFLW now to play, to show off in front of more people what they can do ahead of a draft later on this year for the AFLW.
Just Google once again. He's thinking back and sees that one out wide. We hear it so often though. The Geelong Footy Factory with both the AFLW and the AFL as well. Such a wonderful program out there, real footy heartland in that part of the world, and producing some great young women and men as well, and providing pathways into the AFLW and AFL. So.
And I think we've got to give some credit to Mel Hickey, who's taken the reins at Geelong Falcons girls last year and has been coaching Vic Country as well. She's a fantastic leader and person for a lot of these young women to be learning from. She's not just a smart footy mind, but she's a very emotionally intelligent person. So she's able to create players who are really well equipped to approach footy at its highest level. Chloe Adams, who has been playing for Essendon, she was drafted to Essendon late last year and has been playing in their VFLW program, is one of the absolute highlights of Mel's work coming out of the Geelong Falcons, and it's fantastic to see them get the effort. And there's a couple in this team as well that would have learned a lot from Mel Hickey, who is a Darebin Falcon through and through as well. She played a lot of footy for the Falcons. She won a lot of flags for the Falcons, and then obviously went to AFLW level and played at both Melbourne and Geelong. So she's a fantastic person to learn from.
Just trying to work the ball forward. Kicking centre there for Goff. It's just knocked out of her hands though at the crucial moment. Neil in there as well, trying to barge her way through, applying a tackle now. The group involved. And umpire lingers. Body kick going away here of Geelong. So in the middle of the ground, trying to construct something. Geelong. What can they do here? We know they've got scoring power because they kicked 5 goals in the last quarter last week to steam home against the Southern Saints and steal that game. And there's high contact there. And well, it was clear for a kick, but players okay. Good contact.
Yeah, immediately grabbed at the top of her head as well, which isn't ideal. But while we wait for the trainers to get out and check on her, you mentioned the firepower and attack in The 5 goals in that last quarter against the Southern Saints last week from Geelong, they had 8 individual goal kickers as well, which was crucial. So their spread of attacking options is outstanding, which makes it it's so much harder to defend because you can't defend everyone at every minute if you need to work as a unit, if you need to work as an intercepting or supporting unit to each other. Every player in that defensive line or even through the midfield has to be super aware of what their direct opponent is doing. So it becomes incredibly hard to defend. So we hope this player is okay. They're getting her up off the ground though, which is a really good sign. They haven't had to call for a stretcher or put a neck brace on her. So that makes me feel a lot better about this one. That looks like Bridget Orton. So good to see her walking off. And doesn't look like any sort of major injury, but potentially a concussion conversation to be had. And at this level, Josh, this year, obviously, the rules around concussion and the layoff has changed. Yeah. At AFL, AFLW level, it's still the 12-day layoff, whereas at this level, it's 21 days. So if you have concussion issues, you're out for probably 3 games after that. Sorry, this is off topic, but I've just seen the sign for Colac Little Athletics in the background, and it's just made me really happy because it's truly the community vibe, isn't it? It is. We love. It is. I love the fence signage. Yes. Very localised.
Parts of Victoria. The kick goes inside attacking 50 here for Geelong. A hand pass has been flicked out towards the direction there of McNeil. Now a quick kick up towards full forward. The group was there waiting for it. Just went through her hands. And stolen away there by Mackie. Comes back out towards Mackie, but Plummer got a hand in there. The kick towards full forward again. Good smother off the Mason's kick. He was floating at that one, but has marked. Right on the player's 50. Mar sends it into the pocket. Knocked out. And then Larkins. Long tackle. She's been good so far, and she gets rewarded here for holding the ball, but she's been one of the better players on the ground so far, I'd say, Larkins.
She has, and it comes down to that willingness to take the game on, run and carry, and be really aggressive.
So Larkin puts this up to the top of the square, and Chantel Mason takes the mark and will kick from directly in front. Geelong looking for their first.
Chantel Mason, one of Geelong's draftees from December last year. She's played quite a bit of VFLW footy to start the year off as well. She's one of those players that the Cats will be looking to develop through the VFLW over the next few weeks. And she's already been presenting really nicely.
She's one of the 8 goal kickers last week. Was Chantel Mason as she pushes that one through the middle. No problems there for Chantel Mason. And Geelong fire back. It's a goal apiece as we close in on quarter time.
That's her 3rd goal of the VFLW season to date. So there's 2 players that I said to you before the game, other than Brooke Plummer and Abby McDonald, who we've discussed, who I was really excited to watch today. One of them is Chantel Mason, so she's clearly a big forward target that they can utilise, who can still do some other things around the ground, but they're trying to develop her into that marking key forward target, knowing that, a Shelley Scott is coming toward the end of her AFLW career and you want someone else that can come into that role. She's been really, really good in her presentation so far. The other one is, leading with your head is not good. Don't recommend. The other one is Bride O'Rourke, who wears the number 23. So Chantel Mason's in the 24. And Bride's in the 23. I've got a funny story about her draft for you when we've got a moment a little bit later on.
Yes, I'm keen to hear about that. Here's Plummer. Got the hand pass away towards Larkins, but it's going to come back to Plummer with a free kick. So Plummer at centre half forward. Tries this one long to full forward. Mason almost. And she gets the free kick by contact. So the hand just flipped high, and Mason looking for back-to-back goals in this first quarter.
So what you're saying is that I was right to talk her up just then? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's a good size for AFLW. She's 175 centimetres, but she plays bigger than that. I know it sounds cliche, but she does present as if she's a 180 centimetre forward target. So she's a dangerous asset.
Absolutely. And looking for two early goals. Chantel Mason comes in. Hasn't quite made the distance. The group with the hand pass, and it's just been rushed over. And so a minor score. And Geelong take the early lead now by slim 1 point. And Chris Gurgle, the fullback, looks towards the outer side. Beautiful kick as well. And hits up her teammate. And Darebin would construct something before the quarter time break. Into the direction there of Goff. And she cuts it back towards the boundary line alongside McDonald. And the siren sounds. So it's quarter time here at Colac between this contest between Geelong and Darebin.
So Darebin come forward again, inside 50. And the kick is loose at the back. Trying to crumb on that occasion was Raymond. Went through her hands and shown. And so Geelong, though, with a free kick. And Lily Jordan will take it. She steers it up the middle of the ground, and McDonald takes the mark. Been so impressive in 2024 so far. Plummer, direction. Arches the back, but run down. Not rewarded by the umpire. It spills loose to Birchall. Gets it on the boot inside 50. But Darebin have the numbers and can come wide. The kick is to the direction of Schoen. And now Chris Gurgle, who gets it on the boot, but not far enough because Jordan able to cut it off. Inside towards the pocket. Mason snaps towards goal. And it's a bouncing ball over towards the opposite pocket. The hand pass up towards the direction there of Birchall. In towards the pocket again. Unable to keep it alive was Olivia Stewart. And over and out it goes as I welcome in Gemma Bastiani.
Yeah, we've got a few upsets happening around the grounds here, Josh. If you want me to give you a bit of an update, Box Hill ended up beating Williamstown by 10 points earlier on today, and the Western Bulldogs won a close one against Essendon, but Collingwood are currently beating Carlton by 16 points, yet to get a win this year. Collingwood under a new coach with a totally new playing list. Casey are currently beating the reigning premier Port Melbourne by 23 points, which is a massive, massive deal. And the Giants are beating the Southern Saints by 27 points. All their AFLW players up there at Blacktown having a big, big impact.
So interesting scores there. Thanks, Gemma. We'll continue to monitor that as the afternoon progresses. So a kick towards the outer side is too wide. And so Plummer will take this. So Plummer, 60 metres out from goal. Just patrolling that half-forward line at the moment. She wanted her teammates to get back. Darebin able to clear up towards the shown direction. Showed good courage there going back with the flight and then wrapped up strongly in the tackle. And the umpire will cross his arms and lock this one up. Of course, Plummer drafted in 2022. He's been a pivotal part of this Geelong lineup so far, as a strong tackle from McNeil is rewarded just inside the 50-metre arc. McNeil, of course, originally from South Warrnambool, pokes that one towards the pocket. O'Rourke comes around on debut, up towards full forward. Good purchase on the kick. Darebin clear towards the outer side. It'll be a foot race there. Birchall first there, but she's been wrapped up, and a great effort there from Emma Mackey, who wrapped her up and gets the free kick. Looks out wide now. Darebin can move things along on the outer side of the ground. Walton, though, gets in the way for Geelong, and the hand pass up towards the direction of Morrissey. Walton again, wrapped up, but still got the hand pass away. Lang now, one of the three on debut, towards the middle of the ground. To boot, just stuck her boot out quite literally and poked it forward. Jordan just knocks it forward. Under a fair bit of pressure here at the moment. Shown. And then Rudin able to scoop it up. Darebin, kick inside the forward 50. Fuller, front position, but a free kick is going her way. And Fuller now wasting no time. She means business. Kicks towards the outer side. Birchall chasing this one down. Didn't take the mark, but she had plenty of time to steady. Gooden's there. Had to bend down low to get that one. It was awkward, and as a result dropped the mark, but this one's going to be locked up on the outer side of the ground. So, Gemma, another score update?
Yeah, sorry, I missed one of the games. Arguably the most important, I joke. Sydney is currently just at the start of the second quarter. Sydney's currently leading North Melbourne 6-2-38 to North Melbourne's 1-0-6. Montana Ham picked up where she left off last week with 9 disposals so far in the game and 4 tackles. So definitely the Swans are a team to watch at both VFL and AFLW level this year.
Absolutely, as this ball comes towards the bunker direction, who takes the mark in the middle of the ground for Darebin. So bunker, a left footer of course, drives this one long into attack, and a good kick as well. Misfit on the end of this one, and now she pops the kick up towards the pocket. And Darebin with a big opportunity here now. The mark has been taken. And Di Matteo it is. We'll have an opportunity here to steer this one through. Darebin looking for their second goal of the afternoon. So she kicked the first goal in their game last week. Of course, the former Pie as well. Di Matteo for Darebin. Will kick from 25 to 30 metres out. She puts it on its way, and she splits the middle. What a beautiful kick of the footy. And Darebin have 2. Di Matteo is on the board.
This is already not even halfway through this game. Darebin's highest score of the season. They've kicked 10 points last week, which was their highest score to date after kicking just 2 in round 1 and 9 in round 2. So this is a massive, massive positive for the Falcons. They just need to keep this going, and I really liked what Bunker did there in the middle. Got the footy and just really took her time, hit up Alyssa Mifsud as that leading target coming up out of 50, knowing that Mifsud has a big boot that can then send it into the pocket into someone more dangerous.
So back in the middle again. Really positive start for Darebin. As you mentioned, Gemma, their highest score of the year so far. So they've been playing some really good footy and controlling a lot of the ball movement as well. Morrissey goes short to De Groot, and then De Groot up towards half forward. The way to kick, but strong defence there from Blackwood, defending for Darebin on that occasion. Getting her way through trouble was Orton. Good to see her back on the ground as well after that head knock. Mason infringed in the contest. And this will come back. So Darebin from fullback. And Lynch looks towards this near side. Misford. Right at the drop. Gogus takes the advantage. Gives off. towards her teammate. Darebin up towards the centre of the ground. It spills out over the back. Di Matteo, there's no one there. It'll be a foot race. Goff is racing inside the forward 50 with also Chris Gurgle. And first there as well was Basis as she's been wrapped up. Goff involved as well. And they might be able to force a stoppage here. But it's a free kick. So the tackle to be rewarded. And Darebin, through Lauren Collis, can look for their third goal and second goal of the quarter as well. So this would be huge for Lauren Collis, directly in front. And the kick just falls short and has been marked by Orton on the last line of defence. Orton wants to bring it out towards the Plummer direction. Here's Gooden. Evaded the traffic. And now to Fuller. Fuller to Plummer. And then Plummer, left foot kick towards this near side of the ground. It was taken by Schoen. Kick round her body. Misford now. High up and under kick inside 50. Fisted Spall from behind. And now applying the tackle. Di Matteo, and the umpire's going to call for this one, and we'll have a stoppage.
Yeah, just a missed opportunity there, but this forward pressure that the Falcons are putting on is actually really unsettling the Geelong defence, and the way that they're moving the ball by hand coming out of the back half has been super impressive. It's not something we see a lot of from Darebin, so this is exciting.
Chris Gurgle wrapped up on this near side of the ground. The umpire will call for it. So tossed up again. Interesting to see Rudski playing on McDonald, and we might get McDonald's stats up maybe at the next stoppage, Gemma, because she had 35 in round 1 and then 25 in round 3. She missed round 2, of course. And she's had 5 touches, so she's been nullified out of the game just slightly by Mia Rudski. So positive signs there for Darebin, because we know she's a real danger player, and she set up a lot of their opportunities in that final quarter against the Southern Saints last week down at Trevor Barker Beach Oval at Sandringham. That ball not going anywhere. Fuller was trying to drag it out, but unsuccessful on that occasion. And so Gooden up in the ruck against D. Parquet. Now Geelong had the numbers on that occasion to Groot. High up and under kick towards the outer side. A foot race. Storer just paddled it forward. The bounce set up well for her, and she was able to get around Stewart. Here's McDonald right on cue, but a free kick against her. So Misford kicks towards half forward. Fuller went up. Caught a bump for her troubles, and the bump a little high as well, and rewarded with a free kick here. Fuller trying to get round Misford, who just clutched at her jumper, and it affected the hand pass. So good pressure from Misford. Ball hugging the boundary line. Orton got it from the kick, and then looks up, kicks towards the point of the square. Misford read it well, pumps it inside 50. A rolling ball. Darebin with some strong pressure here. Di Matteo again with that pressure, and it's been cut off by Grace Wake, who will send it back into attack. So Wake now pulls the trigger. The kick is short and effective as well. Di Parquet on the end of it takes the mark.
Yeah, Sabine Dupaquet has been... passes it off here.
She does pass it off, and it doesn't matter because Di Matteo has taken the mark, and it was probably a smart option in the end, because we know Di Matteo has a great kick on her, and a bit closer in as well with possibly a slightly better angle.
Very similar spot though, so she should go back and nail this one and put them in a really good position.
So she's already kicked one this afternoon. Darebin looking for their third of this game. That would be such a big goal. Di Matteo looking for her second of the afternoon. She's just missed. It was so close. Just through. And she's hit the post, actually. So a minor score. And maybe an opportunity gone begging as well.
Yeah, Sabine Dupaquet, though, I just want to go back to that point on her. She's actually been rucking a lot of the game against Samantha Gooden. So Samantha Gooden stands 190 centimetres. She's a former netballer, so she's got that height on her. And Dupaquet, she's 174 centimetres, so that's 16 centimetres that she's giving up. But just her willingness to leap and attack the footy in the air has allowed her to compete really beautifully and then follow up at ground level.
Darebin again, able to come forward, up to full forward, but Lang on debut cuts that one off for the Cats. And then up the middle of the ground to a good option in Plummer. We know she's such a good ball user, Plummer. Is there anything on offer? Gets round a couple of players there, takes the bounce, still going Plummer. And then goes with the outside of the boot up towards half forward. Ball still stays inside the field of play and then rolls out. But the lasso rule will come into effect here. Stewart couldn't quite keep it in. Just evaded her. And Blackwood now to take this one. Of course, returned from injury last week. So her second game of the season. Plummer, front position. Keeps that ball in play. Fuller over the top towards Cowan, who pumps this one long inside 50. A rolling ball. First there, McNeil. She able to get around and get boot to ball. She gets the hand pass away. She had a fair bit of time, but just no options really presented. Pratt at ground level. And unable to extract that footy out. The Storer tackle. So Orton up in the ruck for Geelong. She gets it back. Fuller lurking. Ball rolling around now at ground level. Orton in there again. Just slaps it forward. Now towards more of the central part of their inside 50, Geelong. And again, we'll get another stoppage.
The Falcons just aren't allowing any clean disposal from the Cats, so they're making it messy, but it's working to their advantage. And we talk a lot about work rate and pressure. You don't need a lot of talent to be able to pressure the footy, pressure the ball carrier, and just work really hard. So that, I imagine, is what Lachlan Walker said to his players before the game. Hey, you can do this. You just need to work harder than them. You just need to pressure everything that they do. And the Falcons have been doing that.
So Chris Gurgle now on the outer side. She had some space and she's usually a good user of the footy. And she was on that occasion as well. Darebin can come forward. Schoen's there as the players rush back. Schoen has been wrapped up strongly by McKeegan. And she wasn't escaping that tackle. This one to be tossed up. Orton and also Dupaquet from the ruck. Dupaquet grabbed it. She was wrapped up, lost the footy. And incorrect disposal, says the umpire. And Fuller now to take the free kick. She's another one that bobbed up last week with a really sound performance. Part of that back six. Along with Walton as well, who has the footy. But together they were really strong in their defence last week for Geelong, particularly when the Southern Saints had a lot of the ascendancy early. So that kick towards the wing. Pratt, quick on her feet, to Fuller again. And then Fuller, McNeil. Through traffic, McNeil shrugs off the tackler. Eyes back towards the middle of the ground. Standing in the way, though, for Darebin was Collis. That ball's still moving around with Schoen. And now the umpire will come in and toss things up. Centre wing.
The Falcons just aren't allowing the Cats to move the ball neatly past the halfway point. So we see a lot of intercepts happening from this Geelong defence, but then they don't really have anywhere to go as a result of it. So it's good work from the Falcons there.
The Falcons able to build something here as well. It's in the hands of Di Matteo. Just outside 50. They wouldn't mind her at full forward, I reckon, Di Matteo, though. As she tries to rush down, Goff is there. But Geelong come up trumps on that occasion with the defence, but Bunker will send them back into attack. Geelong, though, again with the numbers. Darebin have done well to set up behind the ball. Strong tackle on Katie Lee as she goes to ground. Still alive. Gooden to Plummer. Plummer, the hand pass over the top. Raymond. She had it, lost it. Fist to forward by Larkins. Still has it, Larkins. Holding the ball, though. And so, Darebin through Lauren Collis. Straight up the middle again. Gogus with the tackle. Of course, the former Dog played in their premiership in 2018. Now Darebin playing defence now. They're able to come forward. Closing in on the main break. 19 and a half minutes gone, thereabouts. Geelong back up the middle. De Groot direction. Fisted forward. Bunkers there. Off towards Chris Gurgle. Chris Gurgle, long inside attacking 50. It was a dangerous kick. Flirting with danger, O'Rourke. Able to stand up, though. The debutant kicks towards the outer side. And the siren will sound. Half-time here at Colac. It's Geelong 1-1-7. Darebin 2-1-13. Looking at some of the major ball winners. Brooke Plummer with 11 to... Welcome back to Colac. It is, of course, Geelong taking on Darebin. And we are underway in the second half of footy. And getting the first kick is Bunker. Up towards the half-forward flank for Darebin. Off towards her teammate Basis, who was run down by McDonald. Not rewarded. McDonald might get it back here, though. She scoops it up off the ground. A little hand pass towards O'Rourke, and then O'Rourke towards Larkins, and then Larkins to Jordan. They've worked this towards half-forward pretty smoothly, Geelong. Mason, a quick kick out of the mess and mesh of players there. In towards the forward line. De Groot paddled it forward towards Gooden. Back towards De Groot. Just gets it on the boot towards the top of the square. Mason flies. Almost took the mark. Being kicked forward out of the danger zone towards the Goff direction. And then through her hands. Taken by Orton. McDonald lurking once again. Gogus applies a tackle and will lock things up. As I welcome in Gemma Bastiani again to the coverage for the second half.
Yes, and we've been talking about Darebin playing probably their best footy we've seen from them in a very long time. But Josh, I think it's the weekend of upsets in the VFLW. We've just seen Collingwood win their first game with a completely new playing list. They've beaten Carlton by 17 points as the ball goes inside 50. But the other major one is that the Casey has defeated the reigning premier, who looked absolutely indestructible over the first month of the season. They've won by 23 points, 52 to 29. So those are two major upsets of the weekend. Could Darebin be another one of those, Josh?
We'll wait and find out. It would be fascinating, though. So those results, really interesting looking at a few of them. Inside the 50 here of Darebin. Orton goes by hand to Plummer, who had it thumped out of her grasp. Orton goes in again, and she did well to extract the football on that occasion. Sunderland now towards the outer side. And a foot race for Geelong. It's Stewart, who wraps up her opponent there in Katie Lee. Ball still alive at the moment. Schoen is lurking. The umpire will rush in and toss this footy up. Centre wing on the outer side of the ground. So tossed up. Gogus with the tackle. Fuller was lurking. It spills out the back though. Geelong kick their way up towards the half-forward flank. De Groot just overran the footy. Here's Stewart it was, and then a quick hand pass towards Olivia Stewart. This is running into the open goal. A vacant square, and she nails it. And Olivia Stewart is on the board. That's a big goal for Geelong, and they get their second of the afternoon.
It's the first time we've seen in quite a while that Geelong has had space to run into in its forward 50. So typically today we've seen Darebin really power back into defence, fill that space, not allow any kind of time to work the ball into that goal square. But they just got caught all up ball watching in that moment and allowed that one out the back. But Darebin just has to get a little bit more control around the contest again, start winning those little stoppages, and they'll be back in control here. But I'm liking the work of Caitlin Bunker in the middle, the co-captain, the former Pie. She's been really important today.
So again in the middle, and Geelong have been able to square things up at 13 apiece. Inside 50 here for Darebin. Evasive skills from Deparquet, and the kick at goal is through the middle, and that is quite magnificent. Darebin with the quick response. How good was that?
Deparquet has been so good today so far, but what I really liked was Alyssa Mifsud. She won the hard ball just outside 50, was under pressure, and turned and got the ball deep to create that opportunity. So it's that linking play between teammates that have spent a lot of time together that's been so important. We love watching Alyssa Mifsud play, and she was a star when she played for Melbourne at AFLW level, but chose that AFLW, that elite lifestyle, isn't for me. And full respect to a player for being able to acknowledge that. Goes back and she's just enjoying playing her footy, and she's such an important member of this Darebin side.
Oh, she absolutely is. And what a great goal that was. Again, this has been really strong from Darebin. A quick response. So Plummer to the forward direction. Gogos got in the way though. She had it, lost it. And now Chris Gurgle on hands and knees. Fuller wraps her up. Can't escape the tackle. And so a stoppage. Tossed up by the umpire. Whistle on play though. And it's going the way of Gooden. So a ruck infringement. Gooden, 60 out from home. She pops this kick up inside the forward arc. De Groot was lurking. Spills to Fuller. She was wrapped up immediately by Raymond. Ball spills loose. Rolling towards the boundary line. Shown first there to it. Through traffic. Darebin, a clearing kick into the direction of Duparquet. And well, she's been involved in just about everything at the moment. Takes the mark on the half-back flank. Kicked that previous goal. She drives this one long. Up towards the half-back line for Darebin. Gogos involved. Trying to extract the footy. And this one's going to be tossed up. So Gooden for Geelong in the ruck. Knocks it down. Fuller direction. She gets it back though. That's a pulled out wide in McKeegan. And now Jordan gets it on the boot. Towards space if anything. And then Darebin through the middle. Here's McDonald. And she's been paid the mark ahead of Goff. So McDonald wasting no time. Her kick was smothered. Spilt to Goff. Wrapped up by McDonald. Again, a loose ball in the centre. Lily Jordan picks it up. Moves it along further afield. And then Darebin through Di Matteo. Can come forward. Inside attacking 50. Going to ground there was Koda Goda. And then the kick towards the outer side. Foot race on again. Storer went to ground. And then Jordan was the support. Eyes to the middle, and Fuller takes the mark. Fuller again looking central. Comes to the debutante in O'Rourke. O'Rourke takes off. Runs her full measure. Looks up inside the forward 50. De Groot was down there and now applying a strong tackle. Will that be rewarded? It will be. And De Groot with a big opportunity here from directly in front, 40 metres out.
It's about those repeat efforts, isn't it? Didn't win the ball in the air there, did De Groot, but followed it up at ground level and was able to win the free kick. But this is arguably the most crucial set shot of the game so far for the Cats. She needs to kick this.
She was one of their 8 goal kickers last week. She's accurate in front of goal. She comes in and has it got the distance? Not quite. Touched over the line. Centimetres in it.
Josh, do you feel like hearing my draft story about Bride O'Rourke now? You're up and about for that? Yeah, good. So Bride ended up getting drafted to Geelong as a father-daughter prospect last year. It only came out very late in the piece that she was actually eligible as a father-daughter prospect to the Cats because no one made the connection that her dad was who her dad was because he is significantly older than you probably expect of an 18-year-old at the time. But she was a really highly rated draftee last year, and the Cats just worked out a way to get their hands on her because she's going to be an absolute superstar. So keep an eye out for her. But her dad, I think, played in the 60s. So her dad is significantly older than mine, and I'm nearly double her age. So you just got to start looking through those last names and make sure you can get access to those players however you can. So she'll be a fantastic addition to the Cats this year.
It's a great little yarn. Thanks for sharing that, Neva. Thank you. So back into attack here, Geelong. And the ball's just at the top of the goal square now. De Groot involved again. So it's interesting. Geelong had a pretty good team back in the 60s. They won a flag in 63, it might have been. Or in the early 60s. I know Fred Wooler was the captain of the team back then. They had a good team. And a free kick here. So Geelong, big opportunity here. McNeil. She just tries to stab it, and it's across the face and out of bounds. Doug Wade, another one of those players who was prominent in the 60s for Geelong. Star goal kicker. So this one will be tossed back into play.
So with the father-daughter rules, it's a little bit different to in the men's. In the men's, you need to have played 100 games for your child to be eligible. But in the women's, your dad only needs to have played 1 game at AFLW level. So some of those more obscure players can, slide through. And Ray O'Rourke was her dad's name. He played 2 games for Geelong. But it's worked out. We've seen Caitlin Matthews drafted to the Saints after her dad played just 1 game in 1996, I believe. So there's a few floating around whose parents maybe haven't been the biggest names in the game, but it allows that pathway straight through. So I wouldn't be surprised if that rule changed in the coming years.
Here's Walton in the back half. Oh, it's been intercepted. Can Darebin clear this at the moment? Walton, in the end, was able to clear the immediate danger, but Duparquet was looking dangerous down there for a few moments. Geelong up toward their half-forward line, and they've done well to steady and work their way to this point at the moment. 19 playing 14, midway through the third quarter of footy. Geelong can come forward. Big pack at the drop. McNeil trying to read the drop. Just went through her hands. Walton at the back of the pack. Duparquet is there trying to push this footy out, and she's been locked up. And so the umpire is going to toss this one up just inside the centre square. Ball towards the Misford direction. We might get some stats as well. Maybe Gemma, a bit of an update maybe at the next stoppage. This is holding the ball, so Misford with the free kick. And so Darebin can set something up. What can they create here? Misford just wants to go short. and she was happy to take that option. Storer. Olivia Storer takes the mark. Still 60 metres out from home. Darebin at the moment. Storer pops the kick up. Just inside the forward 50. Walton with the fisted spoil from behind, and Goff able to see it over and out. And the umpire will toss this one in.
Yeah, so Brooke Plummer is leading all comers on the ground with 15 disposals so far, and a host of cats have 11. Joe Sunderland, Bride O'Rourke, Mia Fuller and Zoe Cowan have each had 11, while Caitlin Bunker is the leading disposal winner for the Falcons with 11 of her own.
Plummer out of that stoppage was cool amongst the panic, got it to Birchall. And Birchall further afield to McKeegan. For the Catters, McKeegan will drive this one long up towards the wing, the Orton direction, but numbers favour Darebin, and they kick up towards their half-forward flank. Again, Misford is involved, goes to ground now, wrapped up by Plummer, and the umpire was lurking. And blows his whistle to restart play at half-forward here. So Ruck's just sorting themselves out. It was Egan who just mistimed her fist, and Darebin with the free kick. And so Sam Basis now looks up, sets this one up, and it was a beautiful, well-weighted kick because Duparquet has taken the mark on her chest. A diving effort ahead of McDonald, and she's looking for her second of the afternoon. Darebin for their fourth. It would be quite something if she could steer this one home. The kick is on its way. It falls short. Auden there. They just need to sock her off the ground. Goff had it, and then she was wrapped up. Can they get a clean possession here? Darebin. Di Matteo's there trying to extract the footy out. Duparquet arrives again. And now the umpire will call for it. Desperate times for the Geelong defence at the moment. 2-2-14 they are. Darebin 3-1-19. They would love a goal as we approach 16 minutes gone. The kick is long up towards the Goff direction at full forward. Walton was there with a timely fist. Over and out it goes.
Just feels like a damn wall is about to break for the Falcons. They just need that one little score to break them through because they're so close to opening this game right up. But credit to the Geelong defence. They've been standing strong. They have been getting a lot of numbers back behind the ball, though.
So Orton and Duparquet doing battle in the ruck. Fuller trying to barge her way through. Orton involved again. And now Goff. Quick kick forward and missing. So missing towards the right-hand side. Was oh so close, though.
Josh, can I ask, because we haven't had this discussion before, can I ask your opinion on draws and what you think about them?
Whether we should keep the draw or extra time? So, yeah, look, I forgot you didn't have a microphone there, Gemma. Look, I don't mind the draw. I think it just adds to the drama, I think. I haven't really thought about it too much, but I don't mind the draw. I think it's just part of the drama of sport, I think. So, yeah. You put me on the spot there, Gemma. You got me thinking. As Geelong try and clear the area at the moment. Kick towards the middle. This will work out. Mason takes the mark over her head. Just waiting for the troops to rush back. She had a couple of short options on. Birchall, one of them, but ignored that. Had grander plans further up the field. De Groot, the target. Just mistimed her jump. Ball loose still. At ground level. It spills loose to Jordan. And now a bit of a scrap at ground level. Umpire lurking to restart play. So what can Darebin do here, Gemma, to sort of consolidate this lead at the moment.
It's just, yeah, as I said, just breaking through for that one score. So finding that forward territory again, but finding those leads, when they're using it in space like this, those contested marks are great, but you can't rely solely on contested marks allowing you to maintain possession of the footy. So continuing to lead, it can be exhausting. It can feel like you're doing a lot of running without much reward. But just continuing to lead, be on the move constantly as a forward, because it's going to break down that defensive line if you just keep them working. So that's what you need out of the Darebin forwards. It is difficult though, so we just need to remember that. But Bright O'Rourke there being absolutely pummeled across the boundary line. Now, Josh, the reason I asked about draws is because famously I love them. I love draws. I think that they're dramatic. But I was sitting with an AFLW player yesterday and didn't think, oh, I'm sitting with an actual footballer who experienced a draw last year, and just said, oh, I love draws, and the look on their face was absolute disgust at me. So controversial, I think. If you're not playing, draws are great. If you are playing, they are awful.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, I think. As a spectator, it doesn't get any better, I reckon, as this one is being kicked towards the wing. O'Rourke, and now Lang, and Geelong able to come forward. It's a loose ball, centre half forward, and it's going to be locked up, although pushing the back, so the free kick. And I hope Chris Gergle's okay, because that was heavy contact as well.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And we know that Chris Gergle is a really strong player, but wears the helmet out of an abundance of caution, knowing that what concussion and things like that can do. But she's getting up now, so she looks okay, but it's less than ideal.
Most certainly. So, Chris Gergle about to take the footy right on the cusp of three-quarter time here, so she's at centre half back. And is there time for maybe a late score for either side? Chris Gergle. And they might be able to just mop up a bit of time here. Darebin. Lee on the broadcast side takes the mark, and then short to Bunker. And then Bunker retreats back to Chris Gergle. And the siren sounds. Three-quarter time here at Colac. Can Geelong steamroll them and come over the top again? Here's Plummer out of the middle, drives this one long. It spills out over the back, rolling towards the boundary line. And Stewart was doing the chasing but couldn't quite keep it in and ran out of real estate in the end. So this one will be tossed back into play. It's going to be desperate stuff in this final quarter of footy. Can't wait to see how it unfolds. Gooden knocks it forward. Down towards the boundary again. Larkins tracks it back and over and out. Gemma, who wins from here, do you think?
You've made me nervous. I mean, I brought up the draw conversation earlier because it is just a one kick in it at the moment. But last week, the fact that Geelong kicked those 5 in the last quarter, they still have so much firepower that can come out late. And the way Brooke Plummer has come out in this final term makes me nervous for Darebin, but the optimist in me thinks that Darebin can hold on, Josh.
It would be so good to see, and what a story it would be as well. So, Gogus out of the mess, but not for long, because Orton cuts it off for Geelong, and she will drive this one long. Inside attacking 50, it rolls out towards the boundary line. Stewart got a hand to it, but over and out it goes. And this one's going to be tossed in again. So tossed in by the umpire. Gordon just caught at the back of that particular ruck contest. Gogus at the front again. She's been involved in a lot of the stoppage work this afternoon, and there may have been a whistle on play, and this is going to have to come back, and a Darebin free kick. from their back half. So how do they negotiate exiting their defence now? Bunker goes towards the boundary line. Chris Gurgle takes the mark, averaging 13 disposals this season. Chris Gurgle. Kick's being cut off on the wing. And so Geelong through the middle of the ground. McDonald, but free kick has been given away, and Raymond to take it. Still inside the centre square for Darebin. Want to try and press here at the moment. Raymond's kick, not a great one. Probably not her intention, and the debutant in Lang takes the mark. That's a very long kick up towards the Mason direction. They've done well here, Geelong. They've got players streaming back. Mason, usually a good user of the footy. Head on a swivel. Her eyes light up inside the forward half, and Stewart again charging out on a lead. Was knocked out of her hands though, and over and out it goes. So Stewart, she's been strong in her presentation so far in this final quarter of footy. She's presented almost 3 times with a couple of strong leads, but just couldn't quite complete the marks on those occasions. Geelong come forward. Mark has been taken. Pratt has taken the mark. Coming off an 18 disposal game last week, Brianna Pratt has taken the mark and will kick from directly in front to level the scores. So Brianna Pratt comes in directly in front. Scores are tied. Scores are tied here at Colac. Well, it's fair to say we've got the close one. Brianna Pratt puts it through for a goal.
Yeah, I was just worried. Darebin, what they can't let Geelong do is live in their front half this quarter. They can't let them have the weight of numbers and put that defence under so much pressure. Geelong's just been so close to breaking through for that goal because they've just been sitting close to goal for the whole quarter. So what Darebin really, really needs to do here is win the footy at the source and get into their front half. Put the pressure back on the Cats here, because as it stands, Geelong's going to gather some momentum.
So back from the restart, Bunker. A clearing ball up towards half forward. Orton at the front. Fuller with the crumb. And then trying to extract her way through the pack. It was stolen by Gogus, who kicks inside the forward 50. Up towards the Goff direction. Players coming from all points of the compass there. And that's going to be locked up inside Darebin's forward half. 20 apiece in the final quarter. 5 minutes gone. This is, of course, Rebel VFLW action from the stoppage. DeLong with a clearing kick towards the Mason direction. She goes up there with Blackwood, who knocked it forward. Strong hands there from Larkins. Got it towards her teammate. Geelong is streaming forward in numbers as well. And they're coming forward as well. So what can they conjure up here? The kick inside 50 is wide. A little too wide as well. The intended target, Stewart, out of bounds on the full. And so Lee to take her kick in the back half. Lee has the footy for Darebin. Looking up the line towards the wing. She sends it long. No mark taken. Gooden was there. Strong tackle. And is able to lock things up. Now, Gemma, what I haven't mentioned today is that for those VFL fans and VFLW fans, you can catch the State of Play podcast during the week with your good self and Joey Pignataro as well. So wherever you find your podcast, you can tune in and listen to the dulcet tones of Gemma Bastiani and Joe Pignataro as that one goes over the line. But the lasso rule will come into effect. Certainly worth a listen. And so Geelong, here's McDonald. In the middle of the ground, just retreats some ground towards Lang. Debuting today, Lang drives this one up towards centre half forward, taken by McNeil. And then pops the kick up towards full forward. Fuller's there. Gets the hand pass away, but she was slung. And the free kick will go her way. So tackled illegally, said the umpire. And Mia Fuller with a big opportunity here for Geelong to potentially take back the lead. So Mia Fuller will kick this one, slightish angle, 30 to 35 metres out. Fuller comes in, the kick is on its way. She's missed, but Geelong have the lead. 1 point in it.
Dare I say, Josh, handy point? Yeah, gee, the Falcons just need to gather themselves a little bit. They've been able to get it in their front half, but just letting the pressure get to them. They're turning the ball over in ways that we haven't seen as much of earlier in this game. So finding that open side, moving the ball quickly, which we've seen that they do have the potential to do, not so much when they kick out on the full as a kick in. So they're putting themselves under the pressure here.
So Morrissey to bring this one back into play. She sets it up towards full forward. Geelong have some numbers there. Down there is Pratt. She was wrapped up strongly on that occasion by Collis. And holding the ball. Holding the ball. Well, what a big decision that is. And so Geelong with an opportunity here. Larkins has the footy in hand and will try and steer this one through the big six. And this would open the margin out to 7 points. So Zoe Larkins comes in, stabs it, and goals it. What an important goal that is for Geelong. Now a 7-point margin. Zoe Larkins with her first of the afternoon, and that one hurts.
Goodness gracious, that's it's a frustrating one to give up because it was just a holding the ball free kick that didn't really need to happen that way either. I think Sally Lynch tried to take it out of the ruck and just wasn't clean enough with it. So being aggressive from this centre bounce is super important, but just maintaining some uncontested possession too. Don't allow Geelong to bring that pressure into the game. If you have that uncontested ball movement, clean kicking, you'll be able to possess it enough that the pressure can't come in.
So from the restart once again, the hand pass comes from Birchall. And now Morrissey through the middle. Here's Fuller. Fuller kicks them long into attack. Mason flies. Was she caught high? Umpire said no. De Groot lurking. De Groot's got it. She goes to Fuller. Kicks round her body. A rolling ball towards the pocket. Darebin defence under immense pressure. Here's Wake. Kicks towards the opposite pocket. Shown. Was she taken high? Umpire said no. Big tackle there from Cowan. And the umpire will cross his arms and lock things up. Well, the intensity of this game has gone to another level in this final quarter. Gooden up in the ruck for Geelong. She slaps it down. Here's Fuller, who's become quite influential in this second half. Umpire lurking. Ball, says Gemma Bastiani in the background. Gooder again in the ruck. Knocks it down. Shown. Wrapped up. Just lost the footy. And now Darebin trying to clear. Desperate stuff at the moment. Up towards the wing. And a whistle on play. And so, Du Parquet. Hasn't she been so great this afternoon for Darebin? One of their better players on the ground. Kicks up towards the Misford direction on this near side wing. She follows up with a nice tackle at ground level. And that ball isn't going anywhere. And so at the wing. Time now going against Darebin. 7-point margin. Here's Larkins. Wrapped up strongly by Chris Gurgle. And we'll get another stoppage.
I'll give you a little bit of an update on around the grounds, Josh, while we're here. The two other New South Wales teams are playing right now into their final quarters. The Giants are currently leading the Southern Saints 57-2 points, and Sydney Sydney's playing North Melbourne and winning by 107 to 25. Some not bad AFLW players out there at the moment for those two sides, and they're making it count.
Good to see our Swannies doing well. They've cracked the ton as well. So Shown on the outer side. Ball towards her teammate there in Di Matteo. Shown goes back with the second effort. She might have been caught high. She was. Got a wild hand to the head. Not ideal, but she gets straight back up. Kicks further up the line. So Darebin outer side on centre wing. Able to come forward. The mark was just spilt by Egan. And now Walton trying to barge her way through. Unsuccessfully though. Again, this will be tossed up by the umpire. Orton up in the ruck for Geelong. Wrapped up there by Bunker. Caitlin Bunker, that is, for Darebin. Emerging with the football though was Cowan. Swiftly for Geelong. Kicks up towards half forward. Standing her ground was Blackwood. Blackwood steers this kick inboard. And a good kick it was. Bunker takes the chest mark. Playing in front, Bunker. Looks towards the outer side. Towards Egan. Well, the kick had to be precise, and it wasn't. And so the lasso rule will come into effect once again. Morrissey. Or Orton now. Orton to take the free kick. And she goes to Morrissey. Morrissey got round one. Couldn't quite get round the second tackler, but she still got the kick away towards the De Groot direction. And now Plummer. Plummer pumps this one long. Will players go to ground? Was there a whistle? No. Kick a goal through the middle. And that just might be the winner for Geelong. And it comes off the boot of Brianna Pratt, who kicks her second goal of the afternoon.
Yeah, we've said, gee, it's so exciting, but we've seen last week that Geelong came from far behind essentially to win it, kicking 5 goals in the last quarter. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but now they've kicked 3 in this last quarter to really put a gap on the scoreboard, which is absolutely heartbreaking if you're a Felks fan or if you're a Felks player, because this has been arguably their best performance that we've seen in a very long time. But this is some pure maturity from Geelong right here.
So from the restart again, Darebin with the clearance towards centre half forward. Jordan came in hard at the footy. And then McDonald with a really strong tackle. Good defensive effort. And the umpire to call things 15, almost 15 and a half minutes gone in the final quarter. Time running out here for Darebin. 33 playing 20. A 13-point margin. So they can come forward here, Darebin. Opportunity. Kick goes up. McDonald was there for Geelong. Spoiled that one from behind. That ball just spills loose. Jordan with a really strong tackle. And Gogus will pick herself up on the bottom of that pack. What a gallant player she's been this afternoon. Still in and under Gogus. Trying to weave her way through, and does. Gets the hand pass away. Up towards full forward. Rolling ball. Has that been touched? It's been rushed over the line there by McKeegan. And the umpire, well, he's made this one deliberate. So a massive opportunity. Di Matteo has been brought around on the angle. Will kick from the right forward pocket to try and steer this one through. Almost 17 minutes gone. She's kicked the goal. She has kicked the goal. Di Matteo has put it through for her second of the afternoon. Wow. 7 points.
Can they do it, Josh?
There's still hope. Still hope. They'd have to get a quick clearance here. Gogus has gone into the centre alongside Basis as well, and also Bunker. It'll be oh so hard. But what a performance it would be if they were able to almost pull off the impossible. Here is Gogus. Knocking it on Chris Gurgle in the centre. She's been wrapped up strongly by Jordan. They've got to get a clean clearance here. Otherwise, you'd think it could be all over. It's been knocked out. Gogus trying oh so hard. Gets it to Mackie. Mackie on the boot. Down towards the centre of the crowd. It came off a deflected fist. And now Plummer with a clearing kick. Inside attacking 50. Mason direction. She goes to ground. A foot race out towards the boundary line. Coming through there was Stewart. Now to full back. Darebin. A clearing kick cross goal. Schoen's been involved a fair bit in this second half of footy. A wild hand pass back up towards full forward. Comes back for Darebin. They kick towards their half back line. Gogus hasn't stopped trying. She drives a kick up towards the wing. No mark taken. Goff involved, but the free kick is going Darebin's way. They've got to be quick here. 18 and a half minutes gone. Still behind the centre line here. Darebin will drive their way up towards the half forward line. Di Matteo taken strongly in the tackle by Walton. And that's a big tackle. Might be a match-saving tackle as well, as Di Matteo looks to have hurt herself. And I hope she's okay as well.
I'm not trying to suggest that Di Matteo wasn't genuinely hit in the head there, but given there's no time on in VFLW, maybe it was a chance to save some time. Given for injuries, it does get called off.
So whistle on play here, going the way of Lily Jordan though for Geelong, and so Lily Jordan will drive this one up towards the wing. No mark taken from Mason, but they've received a free kick, and she has. So the infringement there in the marking contest. Mason will drive this towards the Palmer direction, but cut off by Schoen. So Schoen tried to evade the tackler, unsuccessful. Still got the hand pass away towards Storer in the middle of the ground. Taken by Bunker. Off towards Mackie. Mackie drives this one long towards the Misford direction. Through her hands. And now McDonald with a clearing kick towards the outer side. De Groot has taken the mark. And now De Groot, eyes up towards half forward. The kick is good. And Geelong have numbers streaming back. And the siren sounds. Absolute heartbreak for Darebin, but Geelong have come from behind once again to score a very close victory. Their second win of the season.